picture this. You get home after a long, really cluttered day. You're tired. Your mind's just buzzing with everything. You step into your bathroom, ready to finally unwind. But something just feels missing, doesn't it? There's no comforting steam, no like cedar scent, no deep, quiet silence. It's just, well, it's just a bathroom.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, why is something as simple as bathing treated so differently in other places? Like, take Japan. Bath time there isn't just a chore, it feels like a deeply personal, almost sacred ritual.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating is that for Japanese people, the bath goes way beyond just physical cleaning. It's this profound act of cleansing the mind, the spirit too. It's a journey, deeply rooted in centuries of tradition, from those ancient wooden tubs that samurai apparently used, all the way to these tranquil, sort of Zen-style modern spas we see now. The basic idea behind the soak, that core philosophy, it remains incredibly powerful.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Right.
What makes the Japanese soak so special? We want to trace its history, sort of unpack the daily practice, and really try to understand its cultural significance. We'll get into questions like, okay, what was bathing really like for a samurai, and why do Japanese people soak for so long every single day? I mean, is a shower just not enough?
Right.
And how are Japanese baths different from the spas we might think of? And maybe the big one for a lot of people, why aren't folks embarrassed to be naked together in public baths? And ultimately, yeah, we'll look at why this whole culture is grabbing attention globally right now.
It's definitely a compelling journey. It's a practice that offers so much more than just, getting clean. It feels like a path to holistic well-being.
Okay, so to really get how this ritual evolved, we kind of have to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
What was bathing like for, say, a samurai? Did they actually use those iconic wooden tubs we see in pictures?
They certainly did use wooden tubs, yeah, but the whole story is actually a bit broader. The concept of bathing itself, it came to Japan around the 6th century. It arrived with Buddhism coming over from China. Initially, it was more of a purification thing for monks. They'd bathe in temple bathhouses, believing it helped ward off illness and bring good fortune.
So purification first.
Exactly. Public baths, the kind we might recognize, they didn't really show up until much later. The first documented one is from 1591.
Wow. Okay, so it started almost spiritual, kind of monastic. That feels like a huge leap from, just daily bathing for everyone.
Yeah.
When did that big shift happen?
That big change, it really kicked off during the Edo period, that's 1603 to 1868.
Yeah.
Now, even though water was pretty precious back then, public bathhouses, they're called sento, they just exploded in popularity among commoners. They were surprisingly affordable, open pretty much all day, and people in Edo, well, sometimes they'd bathe multiple times a day. They might have been even bigger bath fans than now,
That's quite a picture. I always sort of imagined it as more of a luxury, but you're saying it was super widespread, almost like a daily thing for everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. And these sento, they quickly became way more than just places to wash up. They were these vibrant social hubs, like a mix of a Japanese cafe, a sauna, and a hot spring, all rolled into one. You can imagine, maybe on the second floor, these relaxation areas where people would warm up after their bath, chat, hang out. It fostered a real sense of community. It was a place to unwind, connect, and, well, literally let your guard down.
A practical need and a social gathering spot. Okay, I can definitely see the appeal there. But what about out in the countryside, where maybe the infrastructure was, different? Were people still bathing daily then?
That's a good point. In rural areas, yeah, where modern plumbing wasn't really a thing yet, Goemonburo or steaming baths were more common. You'd basically enter a steam-filled room or cave and cleanse yourself through sweat. But this took a lot of work, gathering firewood and all that. So it wasn't usually a daily thing like in the cities. And then you had these really interesting traditional tubs like the Goemonburo.
Ah, right, the cauldron-shaped one. What's the story there? Is it really named after that thief?
The Goemonburo, yeah, it's this metal bathtub, kind of like a big cauldron, and it's heated directly from underneath with firewood. And yeah, the name is said to come from the legendary thief Ishikawa Goemon, who was supposedly boiled alive in one.
Oof, bit grim.
A bit grim, yes. But it was incredibly popular in rural areas, mainly because firewood was easy to get. Plus, they were durable, pretty compact, and really efficient with water, which was a huge plus back then.
Okay, and the wooden tubs you mentioned earlier, the Onsen, were those just for the rich and powerful?
Generally, yes. For the upper-class samurai and, wealthy families, wooden tubs were the standard, especially ones made from hinoki cypress. They loved them not just because they looked beautiful, but for that amazing soothing aroma and the natural antibacterial qualities of the wood. And for a samurai, bathing in these tubs, it had this deeper, almost spiritual meaning. It was about purifying the body, a ritual of cleanliness, getting ready for battle or important ceremonies.
Ah, so a symbol of status and this kind of spiritual preparation. That makes a lot of sense. So when did the idea of having a private bath at home become, like, normal for everyone in Japan?
That happened much, much later, really in the Showa era, so around the mid-20th century. That's when modern plumbing and gas infrastructure really started spreading across the country. That development made the daily bath at home possible, and eventually it just became a normalized part of everyday life for most Japanese households.
Right, so that whole journey from spiritual purification to these public social hubs and now to this daily ritual at home, it really starts to explain why the bath is so deeply ingrained. But, okay, let's talk about the daily ritual itself. Why the long soak every single day? As someone from the West, I can't help but wonder, isn't a quick shower enough sometimes?
That's a really common question, and honestly, for most Japanese people, taking a bath just automatically means soaking in a tub, a shower by itself, often just not considered the same thing, not really sufficient. At its core, you see, the Japanese daily bath isn't just about getting physically clean. It's this meticulously crafted ritual. It weaves together deep cleanliness, absolutely essential stress relief, and even proactive health maintenance. It's all part of one holistic practice. Think of it like a daily recalibration for your mind, your body, and maybe even your spirit. Especially important, perhaps, in Japan's humid climate.
A daily recalibration. I really like that phrase. So it's definitely not just a quick rinse off. What are the main benefits they're really seeking?
Okay, so first, and maybe the most obvious, is cleanliness. Japan gets really humid, people sweat, and that daily bath is just essential for maintaining that deep feeling of purity and freshness. It's actually a pretty significant national trait, valuing cleanliness so highly. Second, it's hugely about relaxation and stress relief. Soaking in hot water does amazing things physically. You've got the thermal effect warming you up, buoyancy taking pressure off your joints. And then there's this gentle overall pressure from the water itself, hydrostatic pressure, which gives you this subtle kind of all-over massage feeling. That combination just melts away muscle tension. It leads to this immense mental and physical refreshment that, frankly, a quick shower just doesn't deliver in the same way.
Yeah, I can definitely feel the need for that kind of deep relaxation after a stressful day. Okay, and you mentioned a third aspect.
The third big one is health maintenance. Regular soaking is believed to have loads of health benefits. Better circulation, faster recovery from fatigue, it can help if you're sensitive to cold, and definitely promotes better sleep quality. It's seen as a holistic approach to just staying well. And another unique thing is the bathing style itself. There's that separate washing area outside the tub where you scrub down completely before you get in.
Right, I've heard about that.
That's crucial. It's all about consideration for sharing the water, especially within a family. It keeps the actual bath water clean and pure for everyone who uses it.
That makes total sense. It's not just about your own cleanliness, it's a kind of collective respect for the shared water, for the family. And you mentioned something earlier about a spiritual reset beyond the physical stuff.
Yes, exactly. There's this powerful underlying idea of the bath as a return to nothingness, like a moment of quiet contemplation, mental relaxation at the day's end. It's a way to sort of shed all the mental clutter from the day and just almost like a daily meditation, really.
It's truly fascinating how this daily habit connects so deeply to physical well-being and this cultural desire for mental peace. It almost sounds like a unique kind of spa experience. But how does it really compare to, say, a typical Western spa? Are Japanese baths basically like those, or are they something completely different?
Well, they might look a bit similar on the surface, sure, but the actual experience of a Japanese bath is usually profoundly different from what you'd find in a typical Western spa or maybe a gym changing room. In many Western places, you probably wear swimwear, right? And bathing might be more about recovery after a workout. Sometimes it's quite social, maybe even a bit noisy.
Okay, yeah. So the purpose and the whole vibe are different right from the start. What's the core philosophy behind the Japanese way then?
The Japanese philosophy really centers on the bath as a place for centering the mind and body. It just carries this deeper, more spiritual, and importantly, daily meaning. That's why one key difference is the whole rule about cleanliness and nudity. Generally, swimwear isn't allowed. Naked entry is the norm. And this comes with really strict etiquette. You absolutely must wash thoroughly before you even think about stepping into the tub. This consideration for sharing the water, it's not just a suggestion, it's like a fundamental Japanese virtue.
Yeah.
Deeply ingrained, all about collective hygiene and respect.
Okay, so it sounds less like just hopping in for a dip and more like a very mindful entry.
Yeah.
A space for quiet, maybe reflection. What about the design of these spaces? We often see pictures of Japanese bathrooms that look incredibly simple, very beautiful. Why that particular aesthetic?
That's a great point, and it comes down to a few things. First, there's this aesthetic principle, often called wabi-sabi, which is kind of about finding beauty in simplicity, in the essence of things, rather than lots of decoration. So they use natural materials like hinoki wood, maybe stone.
Okay.
These materials have their own inherent beauty and create this feeling of visual quietness, which is really calming for the mind. Second, the whole space is designed first and foremost as a place for relaxation, a sanctuary to heal the mind, not just wash the body. So things like silence, warmth, humidity, those are prioritized over, say, clutter or bright lights or loud music. And finally, that separated structure we talked about, the distinct bath area and the washing area that contributes to both cleanliness and the sense of functional beauty, it's actually incredibly logical and efficient when you think about it.
I see. So it really is kind of like a naked Zen spa, as some describe it. Quieter, more focused on etiquette, creating this unique spiritual space. And this design, this philosophy, I hear it's starting to catch on globally.
Oh, absolutely. The design choices feed into that too. Japanese tubs, especially at home, are often quite deep but also compact. They're designed to maximize small spaces but also give you that feeling of being completely enveloped, cocooned by the water. And there's that strong preference for natural materials, hinoki cypress, ceramic. Even the bath lids are important, both for keeping the heat in and for hygiene. What's really interesting now is seeing how this specific aesthetic is influencing global trends. You hear about Japandi, right? This fusion of Japanese minimalism and Nordic comfort. It's been huge since around 2021, and it's still going strong now into 2024, 2025. I think it really speaks to this global desire people have for mental space, for simple healing, for Zen principles. Especially after everything recently, people really want their homes to feel like a retreat.
So it's not just a physical space, it's a mental one too, a whole philosophy. And this extends even to public baths, right? Which brings us to another really interesting question. Are Japanese public baths like spas? And maybe the most common question for outsiders, why aren't people embarrassed to be naked together?
Well, Japanese public baths, things like sento, or the bigger super sento, they are definitely far more than just places with showers. Often they're these huge complexes. They'll have vast bathing areas, open-air baths, Goemonburo, different kinds of saunas, rock baths, massage chairs, big resting rooms, sometimes even restaurants. They really can be like an onsen theme park, offering this incredibly comprehensive spa-like experience.
Wow, that sounds amazing. But still, the nudity thing, that's what always sparks curiosity for people outside Japan, isn't it? Why isn't it a huge source of embarrassment?
Yeah, that's where this cultural concept called Hadaka no Tsukiye comes into play. It literally translates to something like a naked association or naked communion. The idea is about opening one's heart and relaxing. Historically, these baths were intensely social places. They built community bonds. And in that context, nudity kind of became a symbol of shedding your social status, your pretenses, just being yourself. It allows for more genuine connection and trust, supposedly. It's sort of an unspoken understanding.
So it's like vulnerability leading to a stronger community bond. That's actually a really powerful idea.
It really is. Now, that's not to say no one feels shy. Some people, maybe especially younger generations, might feel a little self-conscious at first. But the prevailing culture strongly emphasizes, look, everyone is naked, and importantly, no one is staring. The focus really shifts away from potential embarrassment and towards the shared goal of healing, relaxation, liberation. Just enjoying the experience together.
Okay. And beyond the tradition and the social aspect, are there practical reasons for that strict no swimsuits rule that seems universal?
Oh, definitely. There are several really key practical reasons. First, as we touched on, it's cultural tradition. Nudity has symbolized purity and relaxation for centuries. Second, and this is huge, it's hygiene. Swimwear, even if you just washed it, can carry outside dirt, detergents, chemicals, chlorine from pools, who knows what, into the shared bathwater, contaminates it. Even a visually clean swimsuit can harbor stuff you can't see, polluting that, shared, almost sacred water.
Right, keeping the shared water pristine for everyone. That makes sense.
Exactly. Third, it genuinely improves the experience. Direct skin contact with the water allows for better absorption of any mineral benefits from hot springs, and honestly, it's just more relaxing without tight wet fabric clinging to you. Fourth, it promotes equality. When everyone's naked, social status, age, background, those things kind of melt away. It creates a level playing field where everyone is just a person enjoying the bath. It fosters this sense of shared humanity.
That's a really compelling point about equality in that shared space.
Isn't it? Fifth, there's facility management. Bathhouse operators need to set rules for safety and hygiene. Allowing swimsuits could lead to all sorts of issues. People hiding things, potential security risks, you name it. And finally, it really boils down to what's just considered Japanese common sense. It's deeply cultural. It's sort of like, you wouldn't put your shoes on a dining table, right? Certain things belong in certain places, and swimsuits just don't belong in shared communal therapeutic bathwater. And this isn't just custom, it's also regulated by laws like the Public Bath Law, Kushu Yokujushu, which sets standards for hygiene and public morals.
It really is a complete cultural immersion, isn't it? A deeply traditional practice, yet somehow it feels surprisingly modern in its approach to well-being. It's becoming really clear why this unique way of bathing is catching global attention now, which I guess brings us to our final point. Why is Japanese bath culture becoming so popular overseas right now?
Well, it's actually pretty straightforward when you look at current trends. Japanese bath culture just aligns perfectly with several big global movements. Think about Zen minimalism, that growing interest in onkatsu.
Onkatsu, what's that exactly?
Onkatsu is basically the practice of warming the body for health benefits. It's gaining a lot of traction because people are learning about its positive effects on circulation, metabolism, overall vitality, and of course the huge surge in self-care generally. Japanese bathing fits right into all of that.
Okay, so it's really tapping into current lifestyle shifts. People are looking for peace, for healing at home. And you mentioned Japandi design earlier. That must be playing a massive role in its global appeal too.
Oh, absolutely. The Japandi trend, that mix of Japanese minimalism and Scandi comfort, it's huge. It really took off around 2021, and it's still everywhere in design magazines, blogs, you name it, right through 2024, 2025. But it's more than just how it looks. It taps into that desire for mental space, for simple healing. People want their homes to be sanctuaries, especially now.
Right. And are there specific products or concepts from Japanese bathing that are really taking off internationally?
Yes, definitely. You see a growing interest in authentic hinoki wood bathtubs, for example, and also just the general idea of creating a dedicated bath retreat within your own home. It reflects that deep desire for a personal sanctuary space.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so for those of us listening who are now feeling inspired, maybe wanting to bring a little bit of this Japanese bath culture into our own homes, what are some practical tips? How can someone create a Japanese-style bath space? And who is this really for?
Well, who's it for? I'd say it's for anyone seeking a bit more mindfulness in a really busy world. Maybe aspiring minimalists who want to integrate that simplicity into their daily routine. Or frankly, just anyone who wants to capture that feeling of daily healing and retreat right there in their own home instead of, waiting for a spa day once a year.
Okay, so how do we do it?
You absolutely can create this feeling at home. A few key things. First, try to embrace humidity. If possible, design your bathroom so the whole space can handle getting wet, kind of like that washing area idea. Think waterproof walls, good drainage, maybe a shower area that isn't totally enclosed.
Right, creating that distinct washing space.
Exactly. Second, lean into natural materials. If you can, incorporate wood, maybe not a full hinoki tub, but touches like bamboo bath mats, wooden stools. Use natural stone tiles, it adds warmth and texture. Third, really cultivate a Zen sensory experience. Think about scent. Use hinoki essential oils, maybe some yuzu bath salts. Think about sound, opt for natural sounds or just silence, not loud music. And lighting, go for indirect, soft light to create a calm, subdued mood. And finally, this is really crucial, declutter. Seriously minimize the visual noise. Use uniform bottles for your shampoo and soap. Choose accessories in natural wood or maybe simple black iron. Keep it consistent and serene. It's all about creating that visual quietness.
That's fantastic. Really practical advice. It really brings this unique culture to life. It's so clear that in Japan, bathing is just so much more than getting clean. It really is a ritual of healing, mindfulness, and finding this profound peace. It transforms a daily chore into a moment of real sanctuary.
Maybe it's time to try soaking the Japanese way. You might be surprised.
Thank you so much for diving deep with us today into the fascinating world of Japanese bath culture. We really hope you, listening out there, find your own moments of tranquility, maybe inspired by some of this. Until next time, have a nice bath day.